guys. Morning. Every morning I gotta take the dog for his little walk, which is basically around the yard. There's Larry, and Branch. He's excited because yesterday, see how he's skipping? He's so joyful. We caught a bunny. Of course, the dog, anytime animals, he gets excited. These guys are all hanging out in the bucket system. One of our followers asked me about the bucket system. This is the bucket system. I do have videos on this whole system, and it's in our videos, Hopeful Backyard Farm bucket system. And Clay shows you how to build this. This is the way to go. Definitely, it saves us a lot. A lot of working as you get older. Here's the pheasants. Now today I want to talk to you guys about being a scientist a little bit when you are a farmer. I think that there are so many people that have come up with ideas and invented things and figured out things. Do you know that in Israel they have just changed their agricultural. They actually, it's like miraculous. They have like a lot more productions where I think it used to be swampland. Now they have trees and all kinds of things. And because of the trees, it's changed the weather because of the humidity. There's just a whole bunch of things. And I think that as farmers, we need to educate ourselves constantly. It doesn't mean that you gotta change your whole environment or your city, but you might learn little things by just watching and doing things and figuring out what other people are doing, and you could do it on a small scale. And who knows, you might even be like one of my favorite people is George Washington Carver. How he you'll hear me talk about him sometimes. He prayed and asked God, like, what's the meaning of this and what's the meaning of that, and finally got down to the peanut, and God showed him all kinds of uses for it. And so, you might have something small that may change things or something big, but when you're a farmer, you should be educating yourself on different ways people do things, do some experimenting, and just learn different things. And I've learned a lot of things, like our weed eating with the rabbits. You just got to keep moving the fences. I mean, once they run out of food, that's when they start digging outside their fences. And of course, if you have an open door, you're going to leave. But there's all kinds of things that you can learn. One of the things that we do is we put goldfish in every bucket through the summer, and every water hole, like over here, there's a little water hole. That way we don't have to have the larvae of the mosquitoes. And we learned that the cats keep down all the predators from our yards, and from the barn, but we like to have the cats because they make our garden better. And so experimenting, and of course for me, I'm a believer, so I pray and I ask God to help me, show me some ideas, and it can be all kinds of things. Cooking is oh, there they go. Woo. Cooking is science. So, you just gotta try things. Obviously you don't want to, you just go crazy and get your feeling hot, but try little things, see if it works, and you may hit on some ideas that can help other farmers. And don't be like the old grandma that gets a recipe and she never shares it and she dies and the recipe goes with her. Get your ideas, and if it's really good, you can find out about patenting things. But if it's just, something that's not too big of a deal, you can share with other people, But it's just all kinds of things you'll learn on the farm. Like, I've learned that just about any animal will nurse another animal, and just about any turkey, chicken will sit on another egg. Just got to be careful, because you can't necessarily have a egg that, like a turkey, might crush your claw. Branch, you like that bunny, don't ya? He don't like you today. You don't like that big old dog barking, but I like it. Oh my goodness, Rusty, my son came over yesterday. You should have heard the dog. It was like a family reunion. He used to be my son's dog. This dog cried and, oh, it's Rusty. And they had to sit on each other's, well, not he, they had to sit on each other's lap. My dog had to sit with him. My dog loves my son. My son used to own him, so he loves him. Of course, my dog is so spoiled, it's hilarious. My son gets laughed because he has so many toys and things like that. A lot of his toys are on the back porch right now because he starts collecting things, my dog does. My son goes, is that the puff boy in his cage right now? I said, no, that's Malcolm man, the Mitchell man or something. He's got that in his cage right now, but usually he's got so many toys he can't move. Branch. Just scooting down there. But it is really funny. But he's a really good dog, and he does a lot of good things for us, so I keep him happy. And which is what I learned too. Dogs are better if you, animals are better if you spoil them a little bit. Dogs are, I feel. I feel like they behave better for you. So he's way spoiled. The cats are running around having a good time. But I guess I'm going to be watching the agricultural goings on in Israel because it's really amazing to see what's going on over there right now as far as technology. So I try to keep myself up on what goes on in the news in the agricultural world because you might learn some things. And I don't jump on every bandwagon either because sometimes somebody comes up with something and everyone's like, oh, let's all farm this way. And sometimes the older ways are the better ways, just like cooking. Sometimes there could be some new technology out there that might save you hours and time and just common sense. And those things are good. And like I said, and getting on your prayer bones and praying, a lot of times got to tell you stuff just if you ask them. I said to my dad one time, how'd you learn all this stuff? Because my father was an inventor, he was a printer, he owned a photography business. My father was a very smart man. And I said to Daddy one time, how did you learn all this stuff? Because I just prayed to ask God to show me how to do it. Because he had like I said, he'd do all kinds of stuff. He was an engineer too. That was his main job. He was like the boss of an engineer and bosses of engineers. And so companies would hire him, and then, they would seek him out to hire him. And sometimes he would look for new jobs. And we had oh my goodness, through my lifetime, we've had thousands of people from around the world come into our home that my dad would work either with business, like a lot of guys would want to start businesses and would come over and have my daddy print all their business stuff, or sometimes through church work because my dad and my mom also helped. Like they had a printing business, but they also, along with that, they printed Christian literature for free. And they would do that. Not for free totally, because it's I think I should say, sometimes it was for free, and then sometimes I think they did at just a good price or something. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure all the details with that, because I know that for a while he did it for free for a while. I think it depended on, for the most part, let's put it this way, he did it, he'd give a lot of, young preachers and preachers free jobs, and plus he'd also print Christian literature for a guy, and I think that he got paid from him, but I think he gave him a really good deal, I'm sure, because my dad was just like that, because he had a good job. He said he was an engineer, but that was like his hobby. It really wasn't his hobby, it was a job. I'll say it that way, because sometimes I think it was his I wouldn't say it was his hobby, it was his job, but it was I don't know, if you don't get paid for it, I guess it's a hobby, I don't know. But anyway, that being said, my dad did a lot of stuff like that, and basically, you like that, Bunny Rabbit? He said he learned a lot of his things, doing that, but like I said, we had people from around the world that would come into our house and be seeking my father to help them. And it was really kind of a neat thing, because at a very young age, I met people from all over the world. They'd be in our home, their kids would play with us, and sometimes to get something done, they'd have 2 or 3 meetings, and then they'd be friends, and then might go out to dinner and invite us to their house, or you know, and then plus, besides that, not only was he a printer, but he designed buildings and everything else. So we had all kinds of interesting things that he could do that, you know, would have, like a new business company would look for him, or not even a new one, some of the old ones. I think PepsiCo years ago sought him out to hire him to come do some work for them for some special stuff. So, like I said, he was a very, very smart man, and he was a good provider for his family. He had 7 children. So, but I said, Daddy, how did you learn all this stuff? He goes, I just prayed and asked God to teach me. So that's an important thing. So he wants to be a scientist, and if you're a believer, learn to pray, and like my sister Zeddy will tell me stuff. She said one time she sat and bawled. She said, because you know, these parents teach their kids, you know. So she said, I sat there and I bawled because I couldn't get the grease or dirt out of this pan. And she said, and she just prayed about it, and she just said, she goes, what I do is I just put Pam in and it comes right out. I tried, it didn't work for me, but for her it did. But she has other things like that, little tips that she does all the time, and she just kind of prays and asks God to help her and show her. But you can try that, it might work for you. But she has like one of these homes that should be in Better Homes and Gardens. I mean, I've had a house like that before, but she just has it. Like, you will not find a speck of dirt in her house. She is completely spotless. But she has a lot of ideas that she'll tell me too. So, a little bit of my morning walks, a little bit of everything. But I want to leave you with the thought today. Be a scientist. If you're a farmer, learn. It can save you thousands of dollars and time, effort, and the whole 9 yards. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed my morning walk with the dog. We'll see you in the next video. God bless.